Hello everybody, my name is Chase here, and it's come to my attention that a lot of you guys want to know my morning routine. It makes sense, I do have it down to a science. First, I wake up and get out of bed with all of my clothes already on to save time. Those precious seconds can be used to read the paper to make sure I'm caught up on all current events. Lincoln was assassinated? I'm also sure to eat a hearty and healthy breakfast to start my day right. Without a bowl, of course, I don't have a job to afford that. I take a bath with all of my clothes on, saves me on laundry to be sure. Torpedo! And I finish my morning by playing at least 30 minutes of Leapfrog. What? Isn't learning just fantastic? The only thing I haven't learned yet is my lesson. You see, educational video games have been on the back of my mind like that undiagnosed tumor just waiting to take you when you're not looking. They may want to educate me, but trust me when I say the only thing I've learned from playing these games is that there are in fact some fates worse than death. Sometimes when I sleep, I feel like it's staring. But wouldn't you know it, I'm actually in the edutainment mood today, which is code for I like views. And usually when it's that time of the month, I go over to my old friend V.tech. They were sure making a name for themselves with a V-smile and only the V-smile. Maybe it's just me and the fact that I owned a V-smile as a child, but whenever I think of edutainment, this company is usually the one that comes to mind first. I just sure hope they never got involved in any scandals where they were clearly in the wrong. What did I just say? Well shit, I don't want to get myself in too much hot water. People still hate me for being mildly against Sonic that one time. Thank God I planned for contingencies? Leapfrog. This was the other company I tended to see a lot when I was a child. They housed the other half of the edutainment market. Now, when I say Leapfrog, what comes to mind may vary, and that's because of the insane amount of products they have released. They have handhelds, consoles, tablets, picture books, learning hamburgers. They really seem to have it all. But for this video, I would like to look at their home console, the Leap TV. I figured this is where they gotta be bringing their A game, but I also picked up their handheld. Why? Because I saw there was a Sonic game for it, and there was no way I was gonna pass that up. And also because I didn't look at any of V.tech's handhelds. But that's mostly because there's not much to say. It was basically just a way to play your V-Smile games portably, and although I haven't personally tried it, I seriously doubt playing Alphabet Park Adventure on the shitter is gonna make it more enjoyable. On second thought. So we're looking at two systems this time around. I'm gonna start with the handheld, just because I can already tell I'm gonna have more to say about the console. Don't worry, your time will come. But here it is, the Leapster L-Max. One of Leapfrog's finest handheld gaming machines. I say one of them because they have a fuckload of other models under the Leapster name. I bought this one because it actually has a video out, meaning you can connect it to your TV, making it really easy to record footage for. I kinda wish I knew that before I recorded a shit ton of games in front of the camera like a 2012 Let's Play, but what are you gonna do? I did really want to try the Digi handheld because there's another Sonic game on there, but that one can't connect to the TV. Recording footage is possible, but it requires a shit ton of modding and fucking with wiring apparently, and do I look like the kind of man who has the time for that? Actually, don't answer that question. I did actually manage to find some commercials for the L-Max like this one, where the handheld is apparently so awesome that children will flock just to get a taste. The other one is animated in Flash, which makes it unique, but I can tell even as a child, this would not convince me to ask my parents for this thing. This has got to be the most boring way to explain to kids how this works.
Kids can learn to write letters on the L-Max handheld, and then watch the letters magically appear on the TV in an animated story.
The last one is my favorite though.
You are about to see is top secret.
Now this makes me want that. Too bad it's a different model. God damn it. But before we can even consider any of that, we have already run into the first problem. It doesn't work. I couldn't get a single response out of the damn thing even after multiple hours of charging. I tried to open up the back to see if you could take out the batteries and replace them, but I couldn't get the screw off. You need the damn jaws of life just to get in there. So instead I did the thing any financial responsible adult would do in this situation. I bought another one. This one's pink. Also certainly in much better shape than the first one, which gives me a lot more hope that it'll at least turn on. And it even comes with this little flap to protect the screen, which the first one did not come with, which is nice. And would you look at that, it works. Time to play some games, and of course we are starting with Sonic X. This game uses the character designs and logo for the Sonic X animated series, but to my knowledge, these two have nothing in common other than the name. Not that I would be able to tell, I've never seen a single episode of this show. I'll give them that they got the 4Kids cast to come voice the characters, and by the whole cast I really just mean Sonic, Tails, and Eggman. Even Sonic's sprite is ripped directly from Sonic 3, which is kinda trippy to look at. The opening cutscene shows a young boy talking about how he's great friends with Sonic, but then Eggman swoops in lamenting that everybody always talks about Sonic and they should talk about him instead. So he deploys his wonderful math robots, as he puts it, to wreak havoc on everything. And of course Sonic runs up and goes to fight the math robots and hopefully save the day. I wish we could actually do that ourselves. The robots are never treated as enemies. All you need to do is walk past them, not very threatening. The whole game basically amounts to walking around. Yes, I said walking, because running battering takes too long. And you have to find the number that fits in with the sequence at the top. There are rings to collect, rails to grind on, and loops to go through like a regular Sonic game, but those are just window dressing. Something to at least give your mind some kind of serotonin as you trek through finding the correct numbers, and then Sonic gets kidnapped and taken to the next act. There are no real enemies or bosses to fight, so it's almost impossible to lose. And maybe that wouldn't bother me so much if it wasn't so long. Each level has 3 acts each, and there really only needs to be one, because it's the same shit over and over again. I get repetition is how you learn, but kids don't have long attention spans, and this shit gets old quickly. Not even a spin dash to make it faster. Also, I probably got sick of it faster because of how much it hurts to keep my arms like this. Other than that though, there's not much more to say. It's a shitty 2D Sonic game that teaches you basic math. It's better than Sonic Blast? But that is not an accomplishment. Moving on, the next game on the docket is Batman. This one is based on the 2004 animated series. I haven't seen a lot of this one past the first couple of episodes, but like Sonic X, I seriously doubt it's gonna matter. And would you look at that? I was right. This one is a pretty similar idea to Sonic X. As Batman, you gotta go around these enclosed areas and solve math problems. This time it's about geometry. You just gotta punch this box until the shape matches what they want you to find. But the biggest difference is that there are enemies to fight. Don't get me wrong, it's still not difficult, but I sure do get hit by a lot of shit before I have the chance to react, and it's kinda irritating. I learned quickly that the batarang is your best friend. Lob that motherfucker at everything in your way and you will find success. Other than that, you're doing the same shit. Match the shape with the one that the game wants and move on. Visually, it's kinda like a shittier version of the Super Nintendo Batman game. I do actually like Batman's cape animation. It's surprisingly fluid. Kinda reminds me of Alucard in Symphony of the Night, which is higher praise than I'll probably give any of these games. This game is fine. I would definitely rather play this than Sonic X, and that's honestly all I'm asking for right now. For an educational video game, you can do a lot worse. Lastly, but definitely least, we have Star Wars: The Clone Wars. Have you ever wanted to watch Clone Wars at like 5 frames per second? Don't give me that look. The opening cutscene explains how key members of the Republic have been kidnapped and we must go rescue them. Which members? Who fucking knows? For my sake, I'm gonna assume it's the baby hut from the movie. Shockingly, this one isn't a platformer. More of a shooter. Well, at least the most a shooter can be on this device. There's 3 levels. The first one is a pretty simple space shooter. It's like an even blurrier version of Star Fox. You see things in front of you? You shoot it. And you also solve math problems, of course. Anakin might be the greatest pilot in the galaxy, but that doesn't mean I am. I miss all the goddamn time. The second stage is about shooting your way through droids, while R2 teaches you how to tell time. Not really sure what the correlation is there. There's even a boss you must destroy with the power of simple algebra. This game feels the most cobbled together out of the bunch, and it's also the shortest. You can finish this in 10 minutes, so if you can't tell time, you better start taking it from the top. But now with this semi-functioning handheld out of the way, we can move on to the main event, the Leap TV. This was Leapfrog's 4th home console. Yeah, 4th. Making this thing a way more recent venture into edutainment than anything I've looked at before. Being released in 2014 and wasn't discontinued until 2020. Damn! I'm not sure how so many of these consoles managed to have such large shelf lives. I guess they must have cost nothing to manufacture. I'm shocked the idea of selling an entire system for educational video games was even still around in 2014. I would have figured companies would have just turned their shit into shitty mobile phone apps like everybody else, but I guess not. But at least it means it takes an HDMI and I don't have to daisy chain AV adapters to get footage. I somehow managed to get this thing fully complete still in the box. Sure, the box itself is a little beat up, but all the cables were still wrapped up, meaning it was never used. Okay, let me just grab my controller and... Alright, who's the comedian? What the hell am I looking at here? You should not be looking at the Resident Evil 4 chainsaw controller and thinking, you know what? I think they were onto something. It's got this weird system where you can slide the side of it over. At first, I thought it was a comfort option, like how you could switch the V.tech controllers for left-handed people, but it doesn't lock in place other than in 2 spots, so the only configurations are acute angle and beating baton. But I guess that leads into the question that's been on my mind ever since I picked this controller up. Will it boomerang? The console itself is incredibly small, not even that much larger than my hand. Not sure how I feel about the disc shape. Thing kind of looks like if you sat on an air purifier. It also has a really bright LED letting you know that the thing is on. I guess that's cool. I do like pretty lights. But god damn it, now it's making me wonder. Will it frisbee?
Throw it!
Something else I didn't notice until I actually opened up the box is that it comes with a small webcam. This is because the Leap TV uses every gamer's favorite feature, motion controls. When the controller is in the baton position, it functions like a Wii remote. Well, a less accurate version anyway. I kinda had to point off screen just to pick the options I wanted because this shit is not centered and there's no button for that. First thing you're gonna notice booting this thing up for the first time is that it's kind of a pain in the dick to set up. Like, I understand it's because it's a newer console, but I'm not setting up a Roku, it's the fucking Leap TV. I gotta set up my child's child's profile and connect it to the internet. My child is of course named Deldor, and I chose the whale as a profile picture because it looks traumatized. Oh yeah, the parental lock code is 1234.
That's amazing. I've got the same combination on my luggage.
But the second thing that you're gonna notice about this system is that it doesn't fucking work. We're 2 for 2 now. This is not looking good. I don't know if the games are messed up or it's the console itself, but I can't get any of these games to load. You insert the cartridge and immediately know it's not gonna work because you see the Leapfrog logo do the swirling thing and you just know you're fucked. I imagine this is what I'm gonna see before I die. And I was ready to chalk this up to just being a faulty console. But while making this, I got a comment from a user describing exactly what I was experiencing, so it's not just me. You know, I give V.tech and their consoles a lot of shit, but at least they work, for better or for worse. Like, even if the game sucks, I can plug in their system, or fill it with D batteries, and it functions. But this thing just hates joy, and whimsy, and fun. At least I can just stare at the boxes. Gotta love the enthusiasm there. Well, at least the Leap TV comes with a pre-installed game called Overworld. And before you say it, yes, I know I could try connecting to the internet and buying the game off their marketplace. But one, that would cost money I don't have, and two, there is no two. Overworld is a game about creating a pet for yourself and playing with them. You can choose a name for your pet, but you can't type whatever you want, and I think we can all probably guess why. Instead, you have to choose a combination of the selected words they give. And I'll admit, this is probably where I had the most fun. Some of the highlights were Crazy Face, Pookie the Brave, and Stinky Baby. But I ended up settling on Sassy Gizmo, the blue dog. You get a selection of what you'd like the pet room to look like and decorate it with whatever you want. It's just that sometimes what I want can clash with what Sassy Gizmo is thinking of, and I kind of take offense to that. Like, goddamn, here I am decorating your room to look like a divorced dad lives here, and you want a trampoline? Not mention actually playing with the pet other than just throwing a simple toy on the ground. I can't even give it treats or pet the damn thing. I feel like I'm at the zoo more than actually owning a dog. There's some games you can play to level up your pet too, but let's just say this is where it starts ranging in quality. The first one is called Sprint, and it's all about filling up your water bottle with words and completing a simple auto-scroller. You collect paw prints and jump on bugs. That's about it. You know what? I'll take it. Actually made me feel like I was playing a video game for a minute. Can I just say I hate when motion controls require you to put down the controller and pick it back up? That's so annoying and really takes me out of being the controller. I say that because now it's time to get in front of the webcam for a salon day. You have to use your hands to push these buttons around you. The problem is I could not find a way to get them to consistently activate. Some buttons worked better than others, but no matter how hard I tried, I could not press the purple button. I know my lighting isn't the best, but we're working with what we got, okay? The next one is about snacks. Now, I assume snacks will be about feeding your pet, but really you're just feeding everybody else's pet, which is kind of a dick move for a pet owner. I like to imagine old Sassy Gizmo is by my feet the whole time asking for some of that. That's kind of fucked. Also, that unicorn really needs to learn what personal space means. But the last game is the worst. I don't even get it. It's another webcam game where you try to signal the pet to jump to another spot, which barely fucking works. And that's it. Look what you've done, Overworld. You've made me redundant. When you finally finish these games, you can level up, but there's no real point to that. All leveling up does is make the games last longer so you can get more points. You're leveling up for the sake of leveling up. Other than that, it's either play games or decorate the room. Have any of you ever played Duck Life? More specifically, Duck Life 3, which was always my favorite. Same kind of idea, except the more you level up, the more your duck evolves, which lets them complete in higher challenges and raise other ducks. That would have been kind of cool. Would have made you feel like you're actually raising a pet and watching them grow.
Now, with a broken console, this would usually be where our journey would end, but I did actually get this Frozen game to work. Although I do say got to work with massive quotation marks.
What do I mean by that? Well, I already knew something was wrong when the play button only displayed as a red X. Obviously, I've never played this before, but I don't think it's supposed to do that. That just isn't right. As much as I would love to follow directions, my body is just unfortunately not that shape. And Elsa just can't contain her excitement for this game. She's just gotta let it go. It would also crash and send me back to the menu after only playing a round of minigames, so isn't that just swell? It's pretty similar to Overworld minigames in that they really only involve waving your hands over the right choice they want you to pick. They want you to wave your hands to activate these, but of course that never worked consistently, so I would always wiggle my fingers around till I got it. As if you needed to look weirder while playing this. There's some others like ice skating, even if it looks more like ice walking with how slow you move. You can make jewelry, and when you hear that, you would think it would be about geometry, because decorating with shapes, right? Nope, it's algebra. Okay, I still think my idea would have made more sense, but whatever. At least I can bedazzle my tiara just right. Aren't I just the prettiest in all the land? I can't believe I'm saying this. V.tech kind of got a leg up on Leapfrog, because you can say whatever you want about them, and especially that, but at least the products I bought from them actually work. It's just stealing my data. I bought 3 products, and only 2 of them function. That's not a very good ratio, I gotta say. I couldn't find much about these issues online, but I know I'm not the only one. I think their factory is just really inconsistent, and that's kind of upsetting. Give me shitty games all you want, but at least let me play them. Maybe I shouldn't say that.
But with that, there's really not that much more to talk about.